Everybody, and welcome back to the FM23 Guiseley Youth Academy save, and we are at the start of Season 9, and we're coming back a lot earlier than we normally do. We are 5 games into the season, and we're coming back to play the 6th game against Scunthorpe. So let's dive into the game and see where we stand. So at the moment, we can see, looking at the squad page there, that 5 appearances is what's been played by most of the team in here. We've had a few little changes that have happened around and about. Goals wise, 2 for Taron Allpress at the top there, 2 for Brooke Christie and 2 for Matt O'Keefe as well. So already, it's an early stage, but it's already looking like goals are being shared around, which is wonderful. In terms of the start of Season 9, there is a few things we need to go through. So I quickly wanted to show you the stats in terms of who's played. You can have a quick look here while I'm talking, and goals and stuff like that. But all in all, the squad are performing very well. So well, in fact, that we are up to 3rd position in the Vanarama National League after 5 games. 3 wins, 2 draws, no losses. Southend and Harrogate are above us, 4 wins and 1 loss each. So even though they've won one more game than us, we are only 1 point behind them because we've drawn and not lost yet. We have the same record as Maidstone, and we're above them on name because we begin with a G and they begin with an M. So yeah, it's looking like it could be a good season. Obviously, the last season ended, got all the way to the FA Trophy final. Halifax Town, our rivals, beat us in the dying moments of extra time. And yeah, it was a bit disappointing. But we played really well. And I've been replying to your comments saying I feel like that sort of has given us the confidence going into this season that we can do something pretty good, hopefully. I mean, the playoffs would be lovely. Just to move up into the top half of the table, I think, is the ultimate aim. We have finished, 17th, 16th and 15th in the Vanarama National. So yeah, I do think we need to build up on that, but we do have some other news. So let's go and have a quick look then at our new head of youth development. Now, our new head of youth development is Louis Story, who is nobody. No, he was not on our radar at all. We had 2 people on our radar on our staff shortlist, and both of them wanted too much money. So we went out and did some digging, and we found Louis Story, a resolute head of youth development, which I think will be pretty good. He's on a 2-year contract, so we're going to give him 2 years of bringing through intakes to see how he gets on to prove himself. He doesn't play our exact formation, but he plays systems that could, suit us pretty well. He does play a sort of gegenpressing style, which we're sort of implementing again. Direct passing suits what we want to do and suits what the board want us to do, so that will help. I like to play quite positively / attacking in terms of mentality. Pressing, we press quite a lot rather than... I'm surprised you can have gegenpressing and pressing style less often. That doesn't really seem to work. But yeah, I think that's a bit of a mix, and marking style is mixed, similar to what we do. He does have he has better player ability and potential judging than what we had previously. He doesn't have quite as good working with youngsters, but generally his overall attributes are better. And people have been telling me that they focus on sort of what their coaching style is. So his coaching style is tactical, but with that comes technical. He does have a bit of defending. Fitness isn't amazing, but I'm hoping the defending, the mental, the tactical, and the technical sort of higher attributes is going to give us a lot of players that are a little bit more defensively solid than what we're getting at the moment through our youth intakes. So let me know what you think. We've brought in Louis Story. I do think he's better than what we had previously. I'll be intrigued to see how he's doing. He's already got a Continental Pro license. He is only 1-star regional reputation, though, which I know isn't the best. But we can't afford the guys that were on our shortlist. If we just go and have a quick check of these. Where are they? Staff shortlist. So as you can see, we've got quite a few in here. Jack Williams was one I was also looking at in terms of a head of youth development, but I'm not too sure he's that good. I think when you look at his coaching stats of who he's going to bring through, it might let him down a little bit. Doesn't play a formation that we want to utilise anymore. He is 2-star, but yeah, I'm not too sure about that. Aaron Lee Jones was the person we were trying to get but wanted too much money. Again, had a chance to actually get more coaching qualifications, but didn't want to move to us. Does play our formation, does play a very similar style of football to us. But unfortunately we couldn't get him in. Connor Fitzpatrick was another one I was looking at on here as well, but sorry, no, this was a performance analysis, wasn't it? That's what I was looking for here. Didn't get him in, he wanted too much money. And Nathan Austin was the guy we're actually looking at potentially to bring in. Has a better reputation, has improvements to do in his coaching licenses, works with youngsters is good. But again, comparing him to Louis Story, who we've brought in, his overall attributes probably aren't as good. So I'd be interested to know, have we got someone better? In all your thoughts, lots of you know this stuff better than I do in terms of head of youth developments. Is the person we have in terms of Louis Story better than Nathan Austin, who we're sort of eyeing up? Although a lot of you did say Aaron Lee Jones was actually better. So if we compare him to Aaron Lee Jones, let's have a look at that. So if you look down here then, so Aaron Lee Jones has much higher discipline, bigger adaptability, player potential judging is better. What else is really necessary? Working with youngsters is much better, but everything else is really basically leaning towards Louis Story. Now, Louis Story is only regional, whereas Aaron Lee Jones is national, which is better. But I sort of feel like we may have got the better end of the deal here with Louis Story. He's on a lesser wage than Aaron Lee Jones wanted £1,000, or well, he wanted like £900 a week, which we couldn't afford. Head of Youth Development, we've got him on £550 a week for 2 years. And I'm hoping in that 2 years, if he doesn't produce a good number of youth intake candidates, then we can go for another one, because our wage structure should be slightly different, because we are improving, we are making a bit more money, and the club is getting bigger and better. I'm also hoping that within 2 years we will be a professional club, which means we can start looking at the next echelon of staff members and players and things like that. In terms of scouting knowledge, we only have England. We have nothing else here. I mean, Aaron Lee Jones did have England, Norway, New Zealand, Sweden and Wales. But at the moment, I think just having England is probably fine, given that we're a Guiseley and we're not even in the Football League pyramid yet. So, yes, that is the head of youth development done. Glad we got to go through that. Training-wise, a lot of you have said try and train youngsters up to change positions. I am doing that. I've got hands-on with everybody's individual training regimes. As you can see here, we're doing all of that. Basically, all the youngsters are doing double intensity as well. We have had a few transfers as well. So we've had a few outgoings in terms of transfers. We've sent Ben Fitton joined Telford United on loan. More than happy for him to leave. He was pretty dreadful for us, dropped out the first team, was moaning a lot. I was happy to let him go. Zach Mountford has gone to Australia, back on loan just to try and get some game time, see if he can sort of reignite his career. Now, the Australian League obviously isn't loaded, so not too sure how many games he's going to get. Declan Carr has gone as well to Australia. Again, not too sure how many games he's actually going to get, but hopefully more game time than here. And Razvan Marika, who I was quite excited about when he came through, but he has really not progressed at all. His potential abilities really dropped off. He was playing in the under-18s, a couple of appearances for us, not done wonderfully well, but back in Liga 3 for Romania, probably more his level, a 6.8 after one game. He'll be getting plenty of game time over there as well. Sort of youth players that have been called up to the first team this year. Graham O'Brien was one that a lot of you guys was like, guys and girls were saying, holding mid or right back. Like, he could be trained to do either of those jobs. So we're going to try and train him to be a holding midfielder first, and then get him onto the next training set to be a right back as well. So he has been called up to the first team for some appearances. Marley Scars is one that's also now been called up from the youth academy into the first team to try and give us some more support on the right hand side. Dominic Johnson, who was flirting with the first team last season, made 15 appearances towards the back end of the year, is now basically our starting centre-back. 5 appearances, a 7.0 already. We've got a few more. Callum Powell has been called up to the first team, and a left-wing option. I don't think he's going to be giving too much sort of competition for places. If you think we've got Tarmi, and O'Keefe is now going onto the left wing, because all press has just started this season phenomenally up front. Andreas Policarpou is another one that's been called up, but that's more just because of his age rather than his ability. He's one I don't think is going to cut it, which is a shame. If he could get his physicals up, his crossing and dribbling would be absolutely immense for what we want to do. In fact, that's a good point. Let's get him onto an individual. I was improving his crossing. Let's get him onto quickness. Just give him some pace. And there's another one. We're trying to train him up to actually be a left back, even though he's got tackling 5. But yeah, we'll deal with that when it goes. Cameron Thorpe is still here. I've decided to give Cameron Thorpe one last crack of the whip. I mean, he's not endearing himself brilliantly. 2 appearances, 6.55 at the moment. Really didn't do well for Barnet, but I wanted to give him one last go because he should be really good. Like, he should be a quality player if we can just get his off-the-ball movement up, which we are training. We're training him on attacking movement, which gets off the ball, and I can't remember what else it does. But yeah, we're trying to improve his off-the-ball, and it is going up. But he needs, I think, a run of games to prove it, but the problem is he's not going to get that because, one, he trains really badly, and two, Taron Alpress is just the guy at the moment. He's just awesome. That finishing and that composure at this level, he generally gets through one-on-one and doesn't miss. So given the fact that we've got a system and a formation which is getting the ball forward quickly and giving our strikers opportunities, he generally takes them. I mean, he's only got 2 goals in 5, but generally he is very good at leading that line. 6'2" as well, 6'1", sorry. So he does bring on a number of flick-ons as well and get other people into the game, which is awesome. Who else has been called up from the youth team? We've seen Jerry Lester before. Jez Hines is back around the first team. Now, Martin Walker, the goalkeeper, but that's, again, mainly because of his age. I don't think he's going to be removing Havetzi or Scott Lloyd anytime soon. Dave Mills. A lot of you were getting comments around Dave Mills. Where is he? What's he doing? He's just so inconsistent. He's so frustrating that what we've done is he's now not our... He's not our starting left-back anymore, even though he played 35 games last season. That 6.61 was awful, and he was more poor than better pretty regularly. So what we've done is called up Dominic Johnson. Priestnell and Johnson have made a good partnership at the back at the moment, and Les Knight's moved to left back, and he's doing he shouldn't be, but he is doing a fantastic job at left back. 6.98 as 5 appearances so far. He's been just a consistent performer all the way through, which is really, really good. Other than that, I don't think there's too much difference in terms of the first team squad, which has obviously really helped with our dynamics and things like that. So team cohesion is amazing. The atmosphere is good. We've got good managerial support. Everything's looking really good, and I'm hoping that we do get set up now for a good season this year. I mean, starting the season well is always crucial. We have had a 3-2 win. Oh, we're still conceding goals, by the way. 3-2 win over Oldham, 1-1 over Maidstone. That's like the American headline, isn't it? USA wins 0-0 or whatever it was, or 1-1. Maidstone 1-1 draw. We beat Stevenage 3-2. Scarborough Athletic we beat 0-0. We've just beaten Altrincham 2-0 as well. Very convincing, that one. Scunthorpe coming up in this episode. It is in 7 days' time, so the players will have a lot of rest. We did try and generate some money as well. Big games against Blackpool, Bolton. We had our rivals over as well. Derby County came for a friendly. Bradford City was a sellout of 4,000 fans. Chesterfield then we had another over 1,000 there. And then we played our little morale boosters towards the end, getting us ready for the league system. So I think we've got a good system going on at the moment in terms of pre-season and what we can do. I do really want to go professional, but at the moment we don't have enough money in the bank and the board aren't willing to risk financial insecurity for the professional nature of the club. But I'm hoping that given the fact that we're starting the season on a positive balance for the first time in a long time, we're going to end it in a positive balance. Maybe a player sale in here again. I think Matt O'Keefe has still got people sniffing around him. Dominic Johnson has got people sniffing around him now. McFadden, I think, will send out on loan. I can't see him getting too much game time at the moment. However, that could be an issue because we've got Jez Hines there as well. I just don't want our only backup striker to be Cameron Thorpe, given that he's so pissed off with me, training badly, really not playing well, etc., etc. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how all this works out, to be honest. But generally, everything's going well at the start of Season 9. I'm trying to think if there was anything else. Oh, yes, in terms of shortlist, because we can look at our old players that we've sold or have previously played for us. So Wayne Harper, who we sold for £7.5 thousand, was playing really regularly for Tranmere. He had a couple of good seasons in League 2, a 6.7, I don't think it's too bad, a 6.65, not amazing, 6.75 when he went on loan to Darlington in the National League North, and then Tranmere released him and he's on a free transfer now. He's got a couple of bids on him, one bid from Gloucester, so he'll be dropping down the divisions to go and play for Gloucester. And Paul Byrne, who we sold for £100,000, and I moaned about that when my board accepted the bid. may have had a bit of a masterstroke, because they got £100,000 for him and a sell-on fee, which we're probably not going to get, and a pre-season friendly, which we got a lot of money from, and he has not cut the grade in League One for the MK Dons, and now he's pissed off. He's requested a transfer, and it looks like they're going to sell him for half the price of what they paid for him. So I questioned the board, but maybe the board had good vision. A lot of comments did also say that Paul Byrne, the board have done really well getting that money for him. So there you go. Dean Keenan was another one who left us to move to Crewe. He hasn't made the grade. He's now available on a free transfer, not even getting a chance for them in League 2. He's also got some interest in him as well. Who's interested in Paul Byrne? What sort of level? Apparently we are. We're definitely not. It's just that he's on our shortlist. And Chesham in the Vanarama National League North below us. And it's good to see that a few of our players are still, when we release them, they are getting some game time. Not all of them are now just immediately retiring. A lot of the Welsh guys are going to play for Tata Steel, which I found quite funny. Paul Hutchinson in there and Jordan Bell as well. But yeah, it's good to see that these players that we release and can't keep at the club are still getting some contract places, because Wayne Harper and Keenan will get picked up as well. So lots of positivity stuff there, which is good. They're not the best clubs in the world, but they are getting football, which is good to see. Like to think our youth academy is still giving people jobs as they come through, which is awesome. We've got a huge scouting budget that we don't need. Let's get that into the transfer budget, and then let's put the transfer budget into the wage budget, which is that way. Let's just leave a little. I don't want to leave that much in there. Okay, we'll do that for now. We can shift that over if needs be. But yeah, look at that. We're $6,000 under our wage budget, which is really good to see. I don't think there's anything else that I really need to show you at the moment. Finances wise, we looked at that. The club vision, they're very happy with what we're doing. Obviously, they are delighted with where we're going. We're on course for the wage budget. The fans are miserable, like proper miserable. I've never had an A. I've never had an A from the fans, which is just a really, really annoying thing. In terms of the club info, same kits again. I really like these kits. Someone asked how I've got junior coaching 20 already. Basically, I just keep on pestering the board for junior coaching. I keep pestering for junior coaching, youth recruitment, and youth facilities, and somehow we're up to 20. I mean, I don't know. I think that might be a bug. But because I don't think we're going to be that superb. But we do have average youth recruitment, exceptional academy coaching, which is really good. Average youth facilities, adequate training facilities, and a youth level of 3. So, yeah, let me know a bit more about that if you want to. But it is the thing I've kept on badgering the board about, is junior coaching. And they seem to have invested in it really heavily. Because if that is correct, then bonus. We've got a junior coaching category, which is similar to Premier League teams, which is awesome. But yeah, really good. Really good. So I'm the manager. Les Knight is captain. Shane Tarmy is the vice captain. Key player is Scott Lloyd, our goalkeeper. And the hot prospect is Graham O'Brien, who will be getting some first team football this year for sure. Right, I will go forward in time for 7 days' time, and we'll be back for that game against Scunthorpe. See you then. So we are back for game day against Scunthorpe. There was one thing I forgot to tell you, and that was, obviously, a lot of you are big fans of Georgios, who surname I couldn't pronounce. We're going to give him a little bit more time in the under-18s. He did get 2 appearances last year, 1 assist, 6.8. We're going to give him a little bit of time in the under-18s, just because in attacking midfield at the moment, we do have Brooklyn Christie, who is starting the season incredibly well. And backing him up, we do have, where's he gone? Lyndon Clough. In this attacking midfield role as well. I do think Giorgio will eventually replace Lyndon Clough, but I feel like whilst Clough and Christie are performing very well and there's no reason to drop them, I would like to give Georgios enough time just to get used to the system. We've got our under-18s playing the same system, exactly the same system, so Georgios is in there playing as the shadow striker, so I'm hoping that will give him the game time he needs. And if we look at the moment, 7.85, 2 goals in 2 games and 1 assist for the under-18s. I'm hoping that confidence builder and that game time down there is going to give him some. It's not to say he's never going to be called up to the first team this season. I think there will be a time when he will be called up. And the same will go for Ryan Amarell as well, who I still think could be very, very useful for us in either central midfield, holding midfield or striker. We've successfully trained him to be a holding midfielder, as a natural position, And again, 2 appearances. Didn't do brilliantly, but a bit more time in the under-18s just to see how he progresses could be very, very helpful. I'm still a little bit concerned with Georgios at like 5'6", is a little bit small. Mercenary isn't the great personality, but I just want to see how he progresses in the system a little bit longer in the under-18s before he gets a call up. Will Jones is also very close to now being in the senior team as well. He obviously came in and did well for us last year. In the under-18s at the moment, if we just look at his profile, 5 appearances, 2 as a sub, 1 goal, a 7.21. So again, someone that seems to be finding his feet in the under-18s. And there's a lot of things around not rushing these people through and understanding how well they perform in the system in the under-18s and then bringing them in to the senior team when we need to, because there's injuries or players leave or things like that. And when they're ready, because the other thing is, this squad is big and this squad needs to be trimmed down. And I do think there's a lot of players in here that are just never going to make the grade. Someone like Joshua Wright is never going to make the grade. I'm not going to force him out because we don't have another right back at the club at the moment. So I need someone in the youth team to develop into a decent enough right back to come in to replace him. But if, he wants to move clubs to one of these teams that are interested in him and play in the league below, I'm not going to stop Joshua Wright from moving. I'm not going to offer him a new contract to try and keep him at the club. So I think that was worth touching on as well, that, the players that are getting quite a lot of hype in the under-18s that you guys want to see, they will get game time at some point. But when the team's clicking as it is, we're 4th in the Vanarama National League. We could potentially go top, I think, if we win today. We could potentially go top. Then there's a chance that later on in the season, these players will get involved. But whilst they're playing well in the under-18s, training well in the under-18s, because also, I don't know if you saw that before, but everyone who is in the under-18s has double intensity. So we're really working them hard, except for Georgios, who can not have 2 days of rest. He can definitely have double intensity like the rest of his teammates. Because in the under-18s with double intensity, their workload is medium. So they're not really doing anything. Which is good. I'm also considering getting Georgios to try and train tries killer balls often, because he's got the passing and he's got the technique. So I think he could be pretty good. Vision's not too bad either. So I'm thinking if we could get that as a player trait, that could be a good thing to get on him. Let me know down below with your thoughts for that. But for now, let's get into the game against Scunthorpe. I'm not going to change the squad. The squad's playing really well. Everybody's fully fit. There is no need to change this team to how we're lining up. So it's going to be, unless Tony Hogan's back. Tony Hogan is back from international duty. So Tony Hogan will go in. I'm just thinking, did we have someone else? I think Lyndon Clough was the guy who was also on international duty that we'd like to bring in. So Scars can be replaced by Scuff, Ampadu, Clough, Tarmy, O'Brien, Thorpe. I think Thorpe, we're going to take out Thorpe for Harris, because what we can do is bring Tarmy on there up front. We can, I think that's all right. I just don't think Cameron Thorpe deserves it. Like, he's got the quality, 2.5 star. He's one of the better young players in the team, but his training of 5.8 is dreadful, really bad. He's in a mentoring group as well to try and improve him. But, it's just, what a waste of those physical stats, right? Oh, what a waste. He could have been so much better. So much better. I'd like to cash in on him, I think, to be honest. Anyway, let's get into the game. Everyone seems to be pretty happy with what is going on. You'll be delighted to know we are now playing in 3D, because I'm happy with how the tactics work. I sort of know what changes I can make and things like that in game when I see certain things. So don't let our run come to an end. Let's keep this going. Keep this run going. I wasn't going to say the pundits. I don't think there's that many pundits about non-league football, but we will see. Hoping for another good performance from Talon, Allpress and Christie in behind him. They're lining up also in a 4-2-3-1. They've got a number of regens in here as well. We'll go and take a look at them in a minute and see what sort of regions they're playing. But win, draw, win, draw, win would suggest that we're in line for a draw in this one. But there you go. We're up in 4th. They're down in 23rd, so we may start very attacking actually in this one. Not in terms of positive, but what we're going to do... Oh, we have. I've already changed it to put them back onto... or put one of them onto wing back on attack. Let's get our wing backs really forward and try and take the game to Scunthorpe in the early stages. As here it's Scunthorpe on the ball first. 40 seconds in. Let's try and take the game to Scunthorpe, he says. 1-0 down inside 58 seconds. Lovely stuff. Jordan threw it in. Adams was just robbed by Bowen really quickly into Butler. Butler put it into Loughran. Loughran, great ball through. No one tracking the run of Smith, and Lloyd probably should do better. Is it complacency from the team? This is a very irritating start there for Guiseley. I'm sort of thinking we up it straight away. Christie with a free kick, swings it in, headed away. Butler's going to bring this one forward. Is this the team? Is this the switch where I've put a game live on camera after such a good run without losing, and Scunthorpe decide to play like Barcelona? Yes, they do. Lesson into Butler. It's 2-0. Right. Well, this obviously isn't working. So let's quickly just drop to our different formation, which is a bit less intense. I'm not watching that again. It's absolutely offensive that Scunthorpe can play that well when they're bottom of the league. But yeah, we're not. It's always the way, innit? You put them live on camera and everyone decides they can't play football anymore. Izquierdo is going to take the goal kick. He goes long. Good header from Knight. O'Keefe, all press. Ball through. Hogan's in. Hogan shoots. Good save from Izquierdo. See, and that's a bit more. That's why I like having these 3 different systems, and I know which one I can go to at certain times if certain things aren't working. But already you can see it does seem to be making a difference. And we're now getting on top of the game. 7 shots to 4. The highlights are coming in our favour as Les Knight swings in across to the back post. Hogan does keep it in really well. Salt is there. Back to Jordan. Jordan swings it in. Christie brings it down, trying to get a shot off. Knight shoots. Oh, he's hit the post. Les Knight, the centre-back, left-back, has hit the post. So unlucky for him. Christie to swing in the corner, puts it in, headed away. Back to Christie. He goes all the way back to Knight. And yes, we're definitely now getting back into this game, and we just need to make a difference. Although Scunthorpe have a good or dangerous free kick, wing over it. It's 3-0. Oh my word, what is going on here, boys? We do not deserve this. We've been on top in this game. It's a lovely free kick from the Scunthorpe man, and they've had 3 shots on target, 3 goals. Boys, what is happening here? Point the finger. I need to say, what was that? Get your acts together. That is absolutely dreadful. And then we will give them a bit of, good cop, bad cop. It's because I said we're on a good run. Maybe it introduced some complacency. But, yeah, not happy with this, boys. We need a monumental turnaround here. No one's playing dreadfully. I mean, 6.4 isn't amazing, but I think it's just that they've taken their chances. They've just been incredibly lucky with the chances they've created and what they've put away. I mean, maybe you can blame Lloyd, but 2 shots from close range, well, 1-on-1, a close range cutback, and then a free kick. Scunthorpe just bringing their scoring boots. Les Knight up to O'Keefe. O'Keefe turns his man. Oh, he nearly got in behind. Not quite though. Bennett goes long towards Loughran. Les Knight is going to be beaten by Loughran, whose shot is absolutely awful. I think maybe just an injection of different players is needed. But yeah, I mean, 4 shots, 3 goals. What a ratio that is that they've got there. I think we're now not creating anything. So I think we're going to go back to pushing our lines higher, try and compress the game a little bit and see if we can get something. Izquierdo, long goal kick forward. Good header there from Johnson. O'Keefe tries to get the ball. Loughran gets past the challenge of Knight. Leeson down the line. Knight covers it well. Johnson goes forward up towards Allpress. Can't win it. Smith picks the ball up. Smith drives forward. Shot goes wide. Right, let's ring some changes. 64 minutes gone. So we'll shove O'Keefe up top for a little bit. Allpress off for Tarmy. Hogan also not having a great game. Jordan not playing brilliantly. Salt not having a good game in there either. I think we go for attacking changes. Let's change our wingers. Hogan and Allpress coming off. We'll put Tarmy out to the left. Harris onto that right-hand side. Just see if that gives us a little bit of a difference with O'Keefe up top as well. But yeah, 20 minutes to go. It's been pretty poor, hasn't it? 3-0 down. I can't believe how clinical Scunthorpe have been for a team near the bottom of the table. It's and we're creating enough. We're just not putting them away. O'Keefe going up front has now put him onto a 0.6, which is very annoying. So we'll do Lyndon Clough on there. We'll put Christie up front. It is. I'm being very rigid with my system. I do understand that, but I know it's a system that can work and get us goals. As the ball's in, it's 4-0. It's 4. I mean, it's an absolute capitulation on live on camera here, and it is not pleasant to see. It's not pleasant to see. Scunthorpe have created the higher XG, but that's because of this one as a tap-in, I think. Yeah. Wow, what a game. Momentum-wise, it's been pretty even. We just didn't take our chances, and they did. 4 goals from an XG of 1.82. James Loughran. That's their level of new gen they're getting. Look at that pace. I'm telling you, physicals make the difference at this level. If you get good physical new gens through, it makes the difference. Harry Leeson isn't a new gen. Who else played really well for them? 9, 7.8. Lewis Baines. He's not a new gen either. Luke Edwards, did he come? He's a new gen. Again, pure pace. Pace with, if you average all these out, 10 attributes over here. Yeah, interesting, isn't it? Regan Butler, again, he's there. Got a bit of stuff in the middle, but again, it's not... Well, I know it's something in between something, but yeah. Well, Scunthorpe have absolutely annihilated us there, haven't they? I feel like I should throw the water bottle. I can't express how lose confidence, anxious. Well, look. Unacceptable. Not happy. And you were not good enough in front of goal. So, I think that's what we have to do. That's what sometimes we have to bollock them. It's been a long time since I've bollocked these players. But a 4-0 loss to the team that are bottom of the table with a terrible start to the season. Well, there you go. We do drop out of the playoffs, but it's not all doom and gloom, is it? I mean, we're still in touching distance of everyone at the top, and it is very early on in the season. But that was bloody frustrating for that to happen live on camera. That was really... I mean, 16 shots to 14. They did have the better XG, more possession as well, but we don't have a possession-based team. Kyle McFadzean. I recognise that name. Who did you used to play for? Coventry, Crawley. Maybe I signed him in another... I might have signed him in another save. Christie reveals Nichols Fury. Our abrupt, unbeaten run comes to an abrupt end. It was 9 games without losing, and, well, the 4-0 loss has, really hurt that, hasn't it? Right, we're going to have loads of games off camera now, because we're not going to be back until Youth Intake Day, which is in March. So, or March or April, sorry. Or generally April. So, yeah, we've basically got a whole season to play, because I came back a lot earlier where we're in good form, and then we got stonked by Scunthorpe. Excellent. I guess, just to give us a little bit of, joy, preview, we're still... we haven't finished bottom, or anywhere near the bottom, since we've been in this division, but the bookies still think we're the worst team and we're going to get relegated every year, which is, not going to happen. We're not going to get relegated. Sorry, bookies. You're going to lose lots of money if people bet on us to stay up. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. Let me know any of your comments down below, hints, tips. Please keep leaving your comments, likes and subscriptions. If we can hit 7,500 subscribers in the first couple of months of 2023, that would be absolutely amazing. But thank you so much for watching. I will catch you in the next one. Cheers.